Hi everyone, welcome to Full Moon Ritual in January with special guest host Dylan Michael. I'm so stoked. I'm like beyond excited for today's live stream. Make sure you have everything. It's listed in the description what it is you'll need. We are going to be doing a fire burning ritual, so make sure you are safe. I'm not liable for any burned fingers. That's my disclaimer. Let's see. So full moon okay, you guys know, I'm gonna already tell you. Here inside Superconscious Leaders, we talk about both Vedic and Tropic astrology. So you're going to hear Dylan most likely talking about Cancer full moon, and you might hear me talk about Leo. Both are technically correct because Vedic astrology is based on astronomy. So if you were to pull out your phone and look at like a sky maps app, you would see the moon is actually in Cancer right now. But because tropic astrology is based off of the equinox and not on the star systems, it says that it's Leo. So if you are watching things all over today and you're like, wait, it says Leo, but Karen and Dylan were saying Cancer, that's why, because we're talking about Vedic Cancer right now, astronomy wise, but tropic, a lot of people are talking about Leo. Both are technically correct. Tropic is more future based, and Vedic is more like right now based.
And karma.
So
yeah.
You can hear the astrology.
And we give them an astrology update.
Yeah.
Okay, so today's full moon. We've got the sun in Capricorn with a bunch of planets, Saturn, Mercury's about to retrograde into it, Jupiter, Pluto, just a whole bunch of energy going on there. The moon is in Cancer and it's about to transit. So we're getting a lot of healing energy from the mother. We're getting a lot of triggers coming up. We're allowing these guilts, these shames, these traumas to really just come and flow and pour out of us. And you may have actually noticed in the last 24 hours that the moon went pretty much fully direct there in the full moon. Little triggers coming up, little things that you didn't anticipate to come up, things to reveal itself, and it's kind of that moment in time what we're getting. And we're also being called to go back into everything that we used to do habits wise or daily spiritual stuff, or even 3D habits like going to the gym, eating well, stuff like that, coming back into play with what worked for us before, reintegrating our studies and allowing that structure to help support us really blast off in 2021. So allowing the mother to guide us as we walk, or as we crawl, as we walk, as we run.
Yes.
Here we are.
Perfect. So, any other little things I want to talk about first? No. Okay. So, we're going to set the space, set the intention for today's ritual. Again, make sure you have all the things. You're going to need a pen and paper, a fire safe bowl, and a lighter, because we're going to do a shame release meditation. Then we're going to do some writing. We're going to release that shame. And then it's a reclamation of power ritual that I have led hundreds and hundreds of people around the world on. And I just really felt super strongly because we are almost at the 1 year mark of the cocoa coming out and all of us being stuck in our houses. This is why, like, it's just time to move on. Like, get over yourself, get over your life, figure out, like he said, the things that used to work for you pre-quarantine and start still doing them. Even those of you who are still like stuck in your houses more than those of us in other cities, you can still do the work, the inner work, the discipline necessary to build your structure. Because without a structure, you're just going to be a tree with you're going to be like a weed that I can easily pull out. You're not going to grow into this big, giant, strong oak tree. And we need more giant, strong oak trees as we move towards the ascension, as we move towards New Earth, the critical mass of global consciousness being aligned with the highest divinity of all, the liberations of all beings from suffering. And yeah, so really rooting down into what it is that you will to create. So that's why we're doing a lot of willpower, solar plexus. Wow, I just forgot the word. Solar plexus chakra integration today. But instead of going upwards, we're going to be going downwards with it, really releasing the shame, releasing the guilt, creating that willpower to create what is on our heart and to really birth it into reality. So you guys know, Dragon Doula, birth is messy, dragons are messy, but it's worth it.
And for all of you guys that are like DNA blueprint delivers, New Earth frequency carriers, some sort of genetic upgrade system operating in your body on a higher frequency level, if you don't have the structure in your body to support that much light, that much energy coming through, you're going to supernova, you're going to max out, you're going to upper limit, you're gonna hit something that's gonna shake your system, because that's so much light integrating into your body that you need to make sure you have that physical strength, that stability, that posture, and just that base for you to stand on as you anchor and pull in these high frequencies. You don't want it to all be here and have like a weak core, weak every legs, every lower back, and it's just blah. It's just getting stuck in you. You're holding on to other people's energy. And so we just keep coming back to this Saturn, Jupiter, structure, Capricorn, roots, deep earth energy. How much can you structure and root down to really take your last year of doing okay, getting by, making that decent coin, having that stability there in your life, but actually expanding and blasting it off.
Right. And a lot of metaphysicians and light workers, energy healers, whatever label you want to give them, that are connecting to the higher realms of consciousness, because they're talking so much about Pleiadians, Syrian star nations, astral projection, astral travel. It gets really, really heady. So hopefully for those of you who are new to the group, this is going to really help you learn how to ground in your metaphysical practices, because that's what we need. We need people that can actually hold the frequency of the light and stand as a lighthouse and really be rooted. Like, right, there's the cliff and the ocean's crashing into it, and then the lighthouse is built into the cliff and up above. That's what we need more of. There's still too many people just like getting washed around in this ocean, in this torrent, and really truly connecting to being the brightest light that you can be. But you have to be stable in your own environment, and you have to be stable in trusting that you're on mission even when there's chaos surrounding you, right? The lighthouse still stands even when there's massive storms.
A star with no stability, supernovas, it just implodes. It's actual physics. So we are mini stars in ourselves. So without that structure, that stability, we're just going to implode on ourselves. And it's happening so much now. This is like a PSA. You don't want to get drunk off the light and up here so much, right? Because this will drive you mad if you don't bring it into your body. If you don't bring in what you teach and preach and learn into your body, you're only like a regurgitating record.
Yeah.
You know, you want to actually be that record.
Yeah. Be the change you want to see in the world. Don't just talk about it. So, those are our PSAs. Hey, Katrina, please jump in the ocean for me.
Me too.
Me too. Okay, so first we're going to set our intention. We got our candle. So, the intention today is to burn away any residual shame stories, to really connect into the willpower necessary to be the birthers of new earth, to be the way showers, to be able to hear the call of the 144,000 and really change the world the way that we're meant to, and also to connect very deeply into rooting our own spiritual practices into our daily life. Every moment of your day should feel like you're in ritual once you have really gotten this work down, and it becomes really who you are as a super conscious leader. So be who you be. So we're going to light our candle, and then, as always, taking our incense, lighting it from the candle so that the intention is imbued into the incense as well. And then a figure 8 motion. Figure 8 is bringing all of the polarities into the singularity, creating a sacred container and a sacred space right here, right now, whether you're live or on the replay, to truly connect into this time. Yes, thank you. Just taking a few deep breaths here as we transition in from teaching mode to ritual mode.
Allowing yourself to open up to the highest available frequency, disconnecting from any noise, and allow the sound of this bowl to bring you into that space.
Big, deep belly breaths, really expanding that solar plexus chakra, which is right at the bottom of your rib cage, that soft spot right here. And as you're breathing, really feeling your lungs expanding in all 4 directions. So we are 3-dimensional beings, and we tend to only breathe in one direction. So breathing side to side, as well as front to back. Beautiful. Okay. So do make sure you have your pen and paper in front of you and that you have a fire safe bowl, a lighter, and tongs if you have it. Again, not liable for any burnt fingers. Hmm. Yeah, 10 million. I love it. Hi, Christina. Hi, Sabrina. Hello, everyone. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do first is really connect. We're going to take you down and then back up because we live in polarity, right? And it's really important that we realize that our bodies more easily access lower vibrations such as shame, guilt, hatred, rage, sadness. And if we can access those emotions first, then we can pull the energy out of the emotion and skyrocket ourselves to then move forward with the willpower. So we're going to extract the energy from these lower vibrations. They're not really all emotions are very energetic, and I really do create really well when I'm pissed off. So taking the energy from those emotions and moving them into what we really want to create, right?
And starting to really get in tune with how easy it is to think of the worst case scenario.
Yeah, but it's so hard to think of the best case.
And really start to focus all that worst case scenario energy on miracles.
Yeah.
Because you're just selling yourself short if you're always worst case scenario, this bad thing's gonna happen, thinking that way, you know?
Oh, this is another test.
Yeah, another test.
That
always
was a big
test.
thing. Oh, this must be a test. This must be a test. Well, if you're always looking for the test, then it's always going to be a test. But if you're always looking for the lesson or looking for the miracle, then more miracles will be coming to you. Okay. It's not a block or a test. It's, oh, I get to learn and I get to create. Okay. That's super consciousness. When you're moving from unconscious to conscious, it's more of the like, okay, let's clear all the blocks. Once you're conscious and you're moving to super consciousness, nothing's blocking you. The only thing that's stopping you is your own limiting belief, and it's just time to move forward and know that you are a dragon. You're here to create a new planet. So stop playing small and let's get into it. Okay?
That's the biggest, loudest message of all. Stop playing small.
Stop playing.
I literally woke up from a dream the other night and it was like, stop playing small. And I was like, dang it, Karen.
It's always in your head. It's true. People call me all the time or message me and they're like, I woke up and you were in my dreams. I dreamed about dragons. I'm like, yeah.
Is there anything else they need for the ritual?
No, those are it. You don't need any crystals if you don't want them. You guys know I'm easy peasy, lemon squeezy. There are some where we are going to be really working on that solar plexus. So, I'm wearing some yellow and we got a yellow candle. So it's really just burning. We're trying to burn up all of the density around us so that we can expand and again turn into that star, to be the tree of life that reaches up and touches every star, as well as the star that crosses over and becomes the tree of life. You need both so that you can have more.
Okay. And most of these traumas that we're talking about, guilt, shame, fear, the worry, they're all stored below the solar plexus.
Yeah.
So that's all that nastiness feeling in your belly, the pains in your stomach, all the intestinal problems, all the other organ problems that go on in this area, is all of that emotion, stored emotion.
Yeah. So if you have any sort of gastrointestinal release after today, it's totally normal.
Especially pooping.
Yeah, just take care of yourself afterwards. Lots of water, lots of sleep. It's very common to have those sorts of releases after this level of ritual because of really what our organs represent. The large intestine specifically is absorbing what we need and letting go of what we don't. So if you're ready to let go of a whole lot, that's probably going to physically show up in your toilet in the next 24 to 48 hours. Just like another PSA. Okay, so let's connect. Oh, we're going to go with shame. We're just going to jump into the shame story. Fuck the rest of it.
Fuck it all.
So shame is a very interesting thing because there are two variants of what shame shows up as. Shame shows up as should. I should do this. I should be a amazing author by now. I should have a $20,000 per month business. I should have finished my degree. I should be whatever, right? Any should, as one of my dear friends says, don't should all over yourself. So make sure that if you hear the word should, you realize that that's probably a shame story that's coming in. And really that anything that starts with shadows are also shame. So it's kind of interesting that we have that to to warn us, right? As soon as you hear like, what should I do? Even if you're like shuffling cards and you're like, okay, what should I do next? You're actually asking a question out of a state of shame instead of what is another way to like, what is my next course of action, right? The energy of what is my next course versus what should I do, the energy around those words is different. Remembering that as dragons, you are the word. In the beginning, there was the word, and the word was God, or the word was dragon. So your words are really important and really powerful. So taking the word should out of your life, taking the word shame really even out of your life. So if you're sitting here for a second, go ahead and grab your pen and paper and you can write what is all the things that you feel like you should have accomplished by now in your life? Or what should you have done in 2020 that didn't get accomplished? What should you have done this last week that didn't get accomplished? And just really start writing that out. This is yours. Oh, thank you.
This can go back as far as we want.
Yeah, as far as you want. You could literally go back to like, maybe you're a high school dropout and you're like, I should have gotten my high school diploma. I should have a GED by now. Or if you're not married yet and you're like in your early 30s and you feel all this pressure, I should be married by now. I should have kids. If you do have kids, I should be a better mother. I should want to hang out with my children. Any of those things that you hear yourself saying, I should, make a list. And we'll take about the next 4 minutes or so to do that. This could even be things that you're like not doing in your daily practice. Like, I should be meditating for 20 minutes a day. I should be going to the gym every day for a half hour. Those sorts of things. Again, like shame shows up in so many different ways we don't even realize. We tend to go really big with our shame stories. Like, and also shouldn't, right? I'm saying should, but like, I shouldn't have gone to that party. I shouldn't have driven drunk. I shouldn't have like any of those things that you still have an attachment to. Should, shouldn't, those need to be just written down so that we can clear them out.
I'm already feeling it in my solar plexus. Right it.
Yeah.
It's like right here.
And you might start feeling nauseated or burping. Any of these things are really normal. So like already just starting to write, I have 5 things written down and I'm already starting to feel like a little nauseous. So it's all good. The deeper you can go, the more powerful this will be. And we'll another two or so minutes. And this could even be desires. Sometimes we feel shame around what it is that we desire. Like, I shouldn't want to have $10 million. Those sorts of things too. So really dig into it. I'm actually going to give us another 2 minutes because I should have. I should. See, it's hard. It's hard. And they just keep coming and they keep coming and they keep coming.
I'm gonna need to do this again.
Yeah. Feel free if you need to do this again later to do that.
I'm feeling both sides. First it was the female side, now it's the masculine side. It's like almost like a knife going into my
Yeah. Yeah. I believe it. Okay, so go ahead and finish up that. And while you're doing that, I'll just talk a little bit more about shame. So shame is this idea, if you study Brene Brown et al., especially her earlier work, she's one of the #1 shame researchers in the world, and she really talks about this idea of being shame is the idea that I am bad versus guilt is I did something bad, right? So I am a bad, like, okay, I used to be a kleptomaniac. You guys know this, so I'm not ashamed of talking about it anymore. But I thought that I was a bad person because of my shoplifting. Okay, so my act, it wasn't that the act of shoplifting was bad, it was I was bad for shoplifting. So I actually had a lot of shame around being a kleptomaniac. Now I realize that once I shifted that to no, the act of shoplifting is not a positive, it's creating all this negative karma, all of these other repercussions, then it was that the act of shoplifting became negative. And once the act became negative, and I was no longer associating myself to doing that act, actually the fun of it got taken away. And then I was able to clear through other meditations and other practices like this any sort of residual guilt around all the times that I had shoplifted. So that's kind of an explanation of how this journey goes. If you're thinking like, oh wow, I'm a really shitty mom, I'm a really bad entrepreneur, I'm really not a good friend, or any of these things because of the list that you just made, then you're still in shame. If you can switch it, even just the first step of reading over your list, what of these acts is it the act that's more negative? And again, negative and positive is so subjective, but in your own moral compass, how many of these things are it's the act that is negative? Can you detach yourself from the act that you've committed, no longer you being a bad person or anything because of the way that you've acted or because of these things that have been done or not done, what you should or shouldn't have done? And once you can do that, now you've reached a guilt place, and guilt's a lot easier to release because you really just need to forgive yourself. And I've led the true forgiveness ritual many times, and we might even still do that today after we reclaim. We'll do the reclamation of power and the fear release, or the true forgiveness, because they're both really fast. So okay, now that we're there, and of course I have a string on my pants. Now that we're there, what I want. Yeah.
I felt it here.
In your jaw?
Yeah, my jaw.
All right. So, yeah, especially if you have a lot of throat chakra stuff that you're clearing, this can affect because your solar plexus is the center chakra. You might start feeling it resonating through your other chakras. If you wrote like I shouldn't have lied to my boyfriend or whatever it is, then that's probably going to actually affect this area because lying is associated with the throat chakra, right? Or the whole thing about I should have finished school, maybe your head starts kind of hurting because that's more of a like an intelligence, like third eye sort of idea. So
I think also important to let them know if you're feeling a pain in the body or a deep sensation that you can just breathe into it and visualize sending light to that area to help break it up, whatever you want to send, heart energy, quantum energy, and just breathe into that sensation. And if you want to go deeper into that, maybe later, if the sensation's coming up for you as you're going through this again throughout the full moon, to really ask yourself, what does this sensation trying to communicate to me?
Yeah.
So you can get a message from your intuition.
Yeah.
So, because it's important to let any pain that comes up in your day is usually centered around a stored emotion. Sometimes you just wowed out and got injured. Yeah. But most of the time, there is something that is trying to communicate to the intelligent body. Perfect. Yeah. I missed a lot of these.
I know. It didn't.
I don't feel pregnant. Yeah, because you're so much trauma stored. Duh.
Yeah. Don't die.
That's where I was all here. I've got my big
Forgiving myself for being such a fool is the hardest.
I've got my big
belly pain. Yeah. Yeah.
It's all right there.
It's all right here. And then also upper back is your ability to receive love.
how long have you been carrying that too?
So really, yeah, heavy. It's heavy shame, right? If you've been carrying shame around like a backpack filled with rocks, every time something shameful happens, you just add another rock to your backpack. And you've been carrying around this backpack since you were 4, when shame really starts becoming something that our parents start being able to shame us as a way of controlling us around age 4. Prior to age 4, we really don't give a fuck at all. But around 4 or 5, when we start interacting with other children our age more often, our parents can use shame, like, oh, well, little Johnny wouldn't act like that, right? And so they can start shaming us to control us. So if you've been walking around for 25 years with every time someone shamed you or you shamed yourself, adding a rock, of course your upper back hurts. You're literally walking around like this with a big old backpack of shame all the time.
And we're constantly getting shamed everywhere. In the workplace or in a friend group or in a relationship dynamic or with family, just keeps happening your whole life. And the other one that just came up to me as you were talking was, remember you talked about the guilt or shame of the weight of the world on your shoulders as a healer?
Oh, yeah.
Knowing you're here for ascension, how much that is to hold, and it's not even you. Yeah. I wanted you to talk about it.
Yeah, because I talk about it. So as those of us super conscious leaders, right, those who are a part of the revolutionary act of really being able to resource our own divinity and no longer be seeking healers or psychics outside of our own ability to connect to source, we tend to be like, again, I should be more advanced by now. I should have helped heal more people. I'm still so stuck in my money blocks and my own 3D bullshit that I can't even do the work that I was meant to be on this planet for, even though I know so deeply I'm supposed to do it. That sort of shame is counterintuitive to knowing yourself, to knowing that you can resource your own divinity and that you are creating your own reality. So you actually are exactly where you're supposed to be right now, even if it doesn't feel like it, right here, right now, watching this life.
Also, a lot of it's like that I shouldn't charge to be a healer, leaving yourself with so much scarcity. So if you have a big mission on the planet, yeah, you're supposed to be going big time. You're needing huge abundance for your visions. You want to change a whole country where you're from or bring water and food to a big place, something big, right? But you're here thinking, I can't charge for my healing work or I can't charge for my energy work.
It's a gift. I'm supposed to give it to the world. That's true from past lives, but it's not for this current life, because right now, spirituality needs to be in every facet of our society. So what this means is, if you're spiritually woke and you have all this like abundance within your relationship with spirit, but you can't pay your rent, I'm sorry, you ain't spiritual. You're just not. You're not actually able to use the resources. And vice versa. If you're materialistically wealthy, but you have zero compassion or empathy and are not connecting to spirit, you're also not spiritual. It's both and this lifetime, guys. We incarnated at the end of Pisces, the beginning of the age of Aquarius, for a motherfucking reason. And it's to be wealthy in all areas of our lives, to be abundant, to be blissful, to be able to have a foundation within our knowing and to be expanding, right? The tree of life has roots all the way down and all the way up. She is abundant in her ability to pull from the earth, the material realm, and also in her ability to pull from the sky.
I think the big download to come in with the age of Aquarius is the water bearer. Symbolically in the Bible, it's referenced this man with carrying a jug of water invites them into a house. He says, leave all your belongings behind and come into my house. And this is the symbolic age of Aquarius, leaving everything behind, right? All these ideologies of shame, guilt, should have, shouldn't, should have this, that, everything we've been indoctrinated with, literally leaving all of our possessions in our mind, all the programs, all the structures that we thought were good for us there, ushering it in now here. First, we do it within, and then we bring it to everybody else. And just by holding that frequency, no matter what we do, even if we're not in healing modality, we're healing and helping rise the consciousness of the planet.
Yeah.
But we have to disintegrate, declutter.
We have to disintegrate to then build your own belief system. So one thing that we do with our clients is we actually help them break apart all the stories that they were given and help them to build their own new structure so that they are fully in alignment with their own integrity and their own standards, not standards that were given to them. Sometimes they still decide to pick those ones back up, right? We put them all on the table and we're like, which ones do you want to keep? Which ones do you want to get rid of? What are new ones do you want to put on? But that can't happen until you've really taken the time to put all of your shit on the table and take inventory and decide what it is you want to keep and what it is you want to get rid of. So that's a huge part of the structural integration that we teach within our programs that we do together. Um, I don't know what's going on with the up or down. Yeah, that's awesome, Jenny. That's fucking sick. I love it when we're on top of each other. Don't care about the ascension, new earth, whatever. I don't owe anyone anything. I was much happier before all the spiritual talk. Okay, so then go back to it. That, Sabrina, is literally normal supernova talk. I will tell you that right now. This whole like, fuck it all, everyone can go burn in hell. I don't care if 95% of the planet dies during this whole process because I'm fine with who I am. That's totally fine, but that means that you are not actually ready to step up as a super conscious leader. And you've been following me for over a year, so it's actually kind of amusing that you're saying that to me. It just is telling me that you're not actually doing the inner deep work necessary, and you're leaving it up on the superficial spiritual talk level.
Also to know that in a geosocial political rhetoric, the whole idea of turning us into atheists, non-believers, turning on spirituality, turning on religion, turning on any sort of organized spiritual community thing is actually part of the global agenda. So coming into that awareness, knowing that like that's part of the thing, is to take people so far away from source, God, whatever, that they don't believe in anything anymore, because without that connection, crown chakra cut off, boom, and you're just a walking zombie. So watch out for that.
Yeah, watch out for that. It's not called the coronavirus. So now the next thing we're gonna do is, now that we've been able to shift from shame to guilt, and again, if you need to watch this again and like really ground that in a little bit deeper, shame is that I'm a bad person. You read this list and you feel like a horrible person by the end of it. You're ready to go walk into freaking traffic by the end of reading this, okay? So if that's what's going on, then you need to shift from I am bad as I read this to, okay, these were maybe not good choices that I made or good actions that happened, but I am not a bad person because I did or did not do the things on my list. Okay. When you do that, you've then shifted from shame into guilt, and guilt is the easiest emotion to release. So we're going to actually do that.
Also, just specifically coming up for Sabrina, don't feel bad that you want to leave spirituality. And it doesn't mean you're not spiritual if you want to leave the woo-woo, new age Instagram posts of telling you what you think you do. So it doesn't matter what you believe in. It doesn't matter what, as long as you believe in some connection. Because as soon as you cut off the connection to yourself, truly, it's over.
So exactly, I know God loves me. I don't have to slave myself in service to others to earn that. Done.
Beautiful.
Brilliant. You get to shine on that, and your presence alone will liberate other people to do that. You could never do another ritual ever again, and if you keep that belief system, your presence will affect the vibration of the planet. So just because we show up big and bright the way that we do doesn't mean that every single person that we talk to does, ever. They just walk around knowing that they're a God here manifested in form, and that's good enough. They never have to tell anyone, they just are. And because they are, everyone that they affect, everyone that comes into their sphere, then gets a little bit of that taste.
And they already are out there big time CEOs, big time money. Those kind of people have that energy where they create their own reality. 100% big time celebrities, Jay-Z types, those kind of people. They're pulling in that energy where they might not be in spirituality at all. They don't know what this is. They don't know what a chakra is. They don't need to. So it's like detaching from not only your own stories, but all the stories and figuring out what works for you.
Yeah, exactly. So now that going from shame to guilt, we're going to do the true forgiveness ritual first, and then the reclamation of power. I wasn't originally planning on that, but that's what happens when, divine timing. So the true forgiveness ritual is really easy. It's I created. Just repeat after me. I created everything on this list. And I forgive myself and anyone associated with these. I give myself permission to release the guilt and come back into harmony with divine will. I am word through this intention. Word, I am word. Okay, take your paper. I'm gonna light it on fire. Please be safe. Please be careful. Use tongs. Use forks. If you're a fire dragon like me, feel free to use your fingers, but just don't
Or
blame
just
me.
breathe on it.
Yeah, I could just breathe. I haven't figured that one out yet.
Soon, pyromancy. Put it all afterwards.
Yeah. Now, some people will tell you that, like, because it burns slower or faster, that it means something. That's again a story. Yeah, I told you not to burn yourself. Yes, he does.
Too psychic.
Just feel that weight lifting off of your shoulders. Feel the space that you're creating in your heart, the space you're creating in your abdomen, allowing for this space to come through.
Maybe even lifting your shoulders back and
then
shining your chest.
And rounding and going back down. So deep breath in, back, exhale down. So your shoulder blades are really holding together and you're able to hold your chest out bright, shine it bright.
So we're just going to seal that with one communal ah for the heart chakra. So rub your hands together. Reach up and clap. Pull it down to the center and then ah. So inhale.
Tearing up, yay, JJ. Okay, so now that we've released the shame, we always want, nature abhors a vacuum, okay? She abhors a vacuum. So because of this, now that every time you've done a release, a letting go, anything like that, you want to replace it with something else. So we're going to replace the space that we've now made in our body, where all the shame was living in our cells and in our DNA. Now that that's been released and let go, along with the guilt, we are going to call back and reclaim our power from that list that you just burned. So just in your mind's eye, kind of, because obviously it's burned. So in your mind's eye, just kind of go back through the ones that are still residually like in your field. And you're going to go, you can either take time to really go through each individual scenario if you want, but I'm going to do this collectively so that we can take a moment to get some messages afterwards and answer any questions you guys have. So you can do this for literally each and everything that has ever happened to you. You can go back to the places that you've done this. So we recently just got back from a trip from Denver and we were driving through Grand Junction, which is somewhere that I had a lot of stories from my childhood. And while we were driving through, I did this reclamation of power ritual and it was super potent. We were literally driving in the car. So it's something that's really simple. Again, we're going to do it for everything that you just released. So what it is thank you. Insert whatever it is. Thank you, all of my triggers, for holding my power. I'm ready to take it back. I'm ready to claim my power from you. I don't need you to hold it anymore. I will take this power that you have held with me into the future. I will take you and all your lessons with me into the future. And I will use this power to willfully create in conjunction with the divine will of Source. What's the Solar Plexus Chakra?
That's O or
So
I also want you guys to focus on bringing the energy in. You just released a lot of energy, so as your breath, you're kind of pulling it into you.
Okay. So while you're doing that again, I thank you for holding my power. Any situation, any person, any place, anything at all that you feel is holding your power, thank you for holding my power. I'm ready to take my power back. I can hold it now. I'm strong enough to hold it. I will take this power and the lessons you gave me into the future as I create in unison with divine will.
Might feel some tingles, might feel some energy as you pull that your power back into you.
Make sure you pull from the back too.
Get a little back power.
Gotta make sure you scoop it all up, all the way through. Good job, guys. Own it. If you need to roar, if you need to flex, like literally like get up and start stretching or like rah, any of that stuff, do it. You have some gong action. It's all just games. It's all just fun. So have fun with it. Get wild. Get crazy.
Yeah, the only reason we do these rituals is just to remind you of who you truly are, to bring you closer to your true self and remove all these weird little ideas that took us away from that beautiful place of play and bliss. So we're here and we're all going there together. So the more we do them, the closer we get.
Yeah, it's true. And it's just a fun game that we get to play as adults. How many other people are sitting in their job right now and we're playing with fire, we're singing with dragons, like way more fun life.
They don't even know it's a
They
moon.
don't even know it's the full moon. They have no clue.
This one wanted to come out for you guys too. The cards, this is forgiveness. So this is huge, right? To do all this work, you're going to need to really forgive yourself, forgive others, and just be okay with letting go, right? Because that's the one thing, is just saying, really truly forgiving yourself for all the should, this, that, whatnot, right? All the shames, all the guilts, and just let it be.
Yeah. When you can forgive yourself, you, again, are liberating yourself from the fear of being punished. And just these simple acts. If you never go on a Facebook Live, if you never tell anyone that you do this, you stay a broom closeted witch your whole life, when you go to the grocery store, your vibration is lighter and different and will be affecting the people that you're passing in the aisles. When you get on a plane, you will be affecting the vibration of the plane. This is something that you are. This is who you be as a super conscious leader. It does not mean that you have to get up on stage in front of 20,000 people blasting your truth. It just means that you know that you are leading the way for others to follow, not because you need to be seen, but because you want to give them the opportunity to also be liberated from fear.
And you just do that autopilot. You set the intention and boom, there you are. What happens after you do all that amazing stuff? Cha-ching, abundance. So the more you clear out all that cobwebs and whatnot, you allow magnetism to truly work with you and your body, and you come into a frequency where you're allowed to have these things: unlimited health, wealth, abundance, freedom, whatever you want, love, bliss, right? But when you're in that lower density, you can only go what's in alignment with that frequency, which is struggle, pain, hate, trauma, drama, fear, worry, all that stuff, right? So look at what they're really selling you in the 3D world and look where that takes you. And look where you can take yourself by just buying into the idea that you create your own reality completely.
Yeah, it's true. So, we're going to open it up for questions for a few minutes. If anyone has anything they want to share from the ritual that happened, if you have any questions about what's going on, and then we do have just a couple little small announcements for the very end, and then we'll release you into the rest of your full moon day. Forgiveness is so powerful for sure. Yes, it is. Beautiful journey, and my daughter is opening up butterflies. I'm so excited. That's so my daughter. So cute. I love it. This is something that you can do with your kids. We're going to be doing it with my kids later today, or something similar.
Yeah, something really similar and creative and play, right? But you got to bring in that play, and the kids teach you how to do that.
They do.
Hanging out with your kids has been so healing for me.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
They love him. Let's see here. You're welcome, Christina. I love you all. You guys are so fun. I love doing these rituals. And you guys are going to see Dylan a lot more. So don't be... if you have questions for me or you feel like you're more comfortable with him, he's my new business partner. So we're going to be around together a whole lot more. So please feel free to reach out to either of us if you have any questions or are requiring any guidance. Yeah. I don't see any stories or shares. So
Karen, just to let you guys know, Karen comes with a warning label.
Yeah.
I help you read it.
Yeah.
So that's where that's.
He's the heart, I'm the womb.
Yeah.
So it's fine. It's a little crazy, but you get both. You get the divine masculine and divine feminine held in perfect harmony as twin dragons, really here to be way showers. That's what we are. So
we all are. And if you're here for that. You are doing that same role. So time to stop what? Playing small.
Stop playing small. True story. Okay. Shocked. All of this information is very. You're so welcome. I'm so happy. There's so many new people, and we had so many people on the live too. I think that was like the biggest that we've ever had. Dylan, what was the scent oil and the roller you used?
That was the King's Scent.
Frankincense.
Frankincense.
Yes.
They brought this to, the three wise men, little magi energy. I love it.
Frankincense.
It's great for your heart, your third eye, really everything, every chakra it's recommended for almost. So it just brings you abundance.
We figured with lots of people thinking that Leo full moon, that lion energy. Like I keep just wanting to quote the Animale line.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it. So there's a line from one of his songs, Animale, that goes, "Step into your lion's heart, unconditional your highest heart, speak your truth like it's your art that you love." So the play, right? The art, the creativity. Artists can't create without the willpower to do so. You always see this happen with artists and creative folks. As soon as they have to do something or they should do something, they just get squashed. But if they don't feel like they should do anything, like they don't have to create a next banger, they're writing all the time, constantly, just like new song, new song, new song. So when you can step into that highest heart and be the lion and be able to roar your truth, you realize that you are a living masterpiece because you are the creator of your reality.
And the way it's so authentic is that you are loving it like it's your art. So whatever you speak, you love it just as much as any creation, your child, the food you've made yourself, the art that you've done, the music you've made, or just the way you dance to the song that plays in your head, right? It's that pure love. The way you would feel like, hey, look at me, I made this. That's how you should speak.
Yeah, and loving because you are the word, and also really loving your own unique frequency, right? I might say unique frequency, but it's really, I know who you are. You are a fractal of God. I know what you are. You are God manifest in form, and I know how you serve. You sing your own song, meaning that you live your own frequency, and that frequency is freedom to you when you're able to release yourself from all the shame stories like we just did. And if you feel like, oh my God, this has been information overload, then go back. This will literally be in this group for the rest of time. It'll be on the YouTube channel, so you have access to it forever. So just remember that too.
Until we're too controversial for Facebook.
Until we're too true. Okay, so any announcements? What offerings do you have right now?
I'm doing twin flame activation, soul mission, alignment, basically program. It's 1 month, and we just work together and dive deep. Calling in your twin. Either you met your twin or you feel your twin coming in. You feel your soul mission coming in. You're trying to expand upon that. Karen and I will probably actually start working on that together. I launched it individually without even talking to her, so that's sometimes what happens. But that's been really fun. It's a lot of inner child healing, shadow work, cleansing, taking you through a supportive masculine so you get held through all that stuff. And then, when you're ready for the big dragon doula, you can go burn the house down. I know she's got some stuff going on too.
Yeah. So right now, really working with the bespoke dragon invocation. So for those of you who haven't caught the live, there's a little mini 10-minute video I did a couple of days ago that really explains these more in depth. But we have come together to collaborate. You get a 90-minute deep dive with me with the dragons, a dragon oracle reading, a pre-session survey to really give you a snapshot of where you're at right now within your whole body and your whole being. We do the session together, and then I come here. It's actually one of the reasons why the live is here and not at my house, is I'm going to jump into the recording studio here and do the tracks, vocal track, light language, draconic language that comes through the throat chakra that was gifted to me by the Pleiadians last summer. And then this amazing artist right here mixes it into a track that is completely bespoke and curated for you, channeled specifically for you. We only open 7 of them a quarter though, because of the time that it takes to then turn it around. And you have access to us, you have access to help through that time. So if you're interested in those, make sure you send me a DM. There's only Yeah.
The
there's no need to
songs
do that.
are chakra based for what you need, right? You walk them through that.
Yeah,
They
so
figure out what
during
they
the
need.
whole session with me first, we get to really see what it is that you require, and then I take that information into the recording studio and pour it out. My throat chakra actually is a way for your highest heart, your highest self to speak to you actually like through your ear, and then because it's resonating through your whole body, you are upgrading your DNA and upgrading your whole physical being in frequency. And then he's a master coder and manifester, so he takes all of his brilliance as one of the top EDM 100 artists of all time.
Oh my God.
You are, and see, stop playing small,
Right.
and and makes it into this beautiful track that you get to keep for the rest of your life. They're fucking powerful. And then afterwards, after 2 weeks of listening to the track morning and night, you then have a post-session survey, and the results are phenomenal from these. I've been offering them for about 18 months now, and every time I release them, the results are just more and more magnificent. I can't love these dragon vocations any more than I do.
And remember, they come with a warning label, so
They do.
just watch what you buy because you know you wanted it.
Yeah. Warning label: your life will change.
Yeah,
It will
guaranteed.
change, guaranteed.
Hashtag.
Yes. So, okay. Thanks, Christina. Yes, Dragon Love. Anybody, if you're looking for more bespoke one-on-one attention too, please feel free to reach out to either of us for that or two-on-one attention, especially those of you who are connecting with your twin flame. It's chaos incarnate, so we get it. We understand. Feel free to message us about any of that stuff. So we love you. Thanks so much for joining us live. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
That was amazing. Thank you guys.
We'll see you in 2 weeks for the new moon ritual.
All right, bye.
Bye.